Mim and also Adam Taylor. And Adam Taylor, you were the one who directed, and Mim and Asia, you actually were the actors in the film. Tell us a little bit more about this film. It was great, absolutely great.
So it's actually for an educational charity called TrueTube. So the film is made to be played in schools, to teach young people, but to also engage young people in the subject matter. And I just found it really interesting to work. This is one of my first films that I've ever made. So I found it really interesting to work with such a well-written piece and such a difficult issue that often is just brushed under the carpet, an issue that I was brought up surrounded by, two different sects, and growing up in school you'd normally go to school with one sect, but you'd be another sect. That's basically my story.
And when you say sect, basically what it is, it's all about the Sunni Muslims and also the Shia Muslims as well. And so what it is that you are the Shia and you are the Sunni. Tell us about your.
Yeah, so my character is a character called Abu Bakr, who's very young, and he belongs to a particular sect in Islam. And I think his whole bringing up in terms of his family, he's been told that, you belong to this sect, so you communicate with people from this sect. Other people from different sects might not be the best people to speak to from such a young age, right? So when he meets Fatima on the bench, straight away he's like, oh, you're Shia, you're Sunni, so I'm not really used to talking to those people. And then they get into this confrontation, which is quite educational from both point of views, giving both of their opinions. For somebody to view that conversation is like, oh, okay, that's what one sect believes, that's what another sect believes, and yeah, it came across really well. The whole film, I think, explores differences, but at the same time it shows how common both sects actually really are. So
I describe it as being the same but different.
Yes. Yes.
Totally contradicting myself, but you understand what I mean, right?
Of course, 100%. I think so many differences. When things are so different, there's always one underlying commonality between that, and within this is the fact that they're both still Muslim. They both still belong to Islam. It's just that the sects have allowed us to maybe divide in the way that we go about practicing our religion. But yeah, it's really interesting. A lot of people who are non-Muslim who have watched this that I know and have hit me up directly have been like, oh, I didn't even know there were different sects within Islam. So we can learn, we can leave being educated, but at the same time still being entertained.
Most definitely, and I was going to say that's the key word, entertained, because I felt that, Adam, you directed this, I felt that you approached it a very serious subject, but yet you approached it in a light and airy way. How did you go about doing that?
Well, the principal concern for me getting started was that a film outlining the differences between two different religious sects for a school could be the most boring thing you've ever seen in your entire life. So immediately I was like, okay, I've got to do some real thinking of how to make this enjoyable. Also, though I knew I wanted to set up a couple of characters who the audience would really fall in love with, I think it's so important in the current climate that we see people from all walks of life, and see them and respect them and see that they are intelligent and articulate and they believe things and they may be different, but they're great people. So it was a natural drift from there to go, okay, we'll make it funny, and I happened to have written it by a canal, and then suddenly I thought, oh, okay, I know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to have to get wet because that'll be the cherry.
It had to end up being me, didn't it? It had to be the male out of the two that ends up getting pushed into it. Because if we made it the other way, it could have gone a whole different direction.
All right, okay.
No, but can I just say what was great about that scene? There's a scene in there where I fall into the pond, into the canal. I was able to wear a protector for my bum, and I didn't even know there was such a thing. I didn't know that this existed.
Neither did I.
So yeah, it's you have knee pads and elbow pads, but this is something that protects your bum. So when I fell, I didn't feel no pain whatsoever. It was all right.
I love that.
Thank you to the BMX community for that innovation.
The BMX community.
I assume it's
BMX.
Yeah.
We got the BMX bike riders for that one.
Yeah.
I love that. But can I just say that I was left wanting more. Now hear me out here, right? I really wanted you guys to, because you liked each other, man. And that's what was so beautiful about it. Once again, the same but different. You guys liked each other. There was this, this nice little bond, and I wanted you to just, get together in the end, man.
But I think that's why it was such a good film, because when any film that ends up leaving the viewer wanting more from those characters that you see, you know, there might be a sequel. There might be Sunni Shia
Ooh.
2. There might be Sunni Shia the feature film. I don't know.
It was
Adam?
It was a really it was a really conscious decision to end it, to make you want more, because I know that it can be a complicated thing, people from different backgrounds, and whether or not they feel like maybe they're allowed to be together, and so to leave the audience thinking, oh, but what if they could be, was a nice thought to end the film on.
And I also think, if I could just say, because this really warmed my heart, and I've got to wrap this up really quick because I always tell me I take too long, right? But this has to be the exception. But with me, I think with everything that's going on right now, this is so needed, and it really warmed me, and I really hope that it can warm so many other people to see something they can't perhaps, or didn't think they can relate to, and finally actually perhaps see that they can relate to you, you know? So fingers crossed, and hopefully that'll be able to touch people's hearts, you know? So well done, guys. It was lovely meeting you all, and well done. I really loved it. Well loved it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.